I'm excited and nervous to talk about sexual identity, diversity.
Definitely. I feel like we're at a really great period of time where, you know, a lot of my friends are now working as teachers in schools, and they're sort of saying, oh my God, these kids are proud to kind of wear their badges and wear their pronouns and whatnot. And I guess before we even get into what all of that means, perhaps it's worth all of us sort of addressing what each of our pronouns are. Well, how would you identify, right?
He, him.
Yep. She, they for me, and both on equal kind of footing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say she, they, but use whatever you like.
I'm she, her, and it's really interesting when you talk about pronouns, because sometimes the conversation about pronouns can be something as simple as saying, hey, I'm Lauren, my pronouns are she, her. And when I go into a classroom or I go into just any space where I'm speaking to people, I'm always very aware that I will start my conversations that way. This is who I am, here are my pronouns, and you can see the shift in a room. You, particularly when I go into schools, you see the young people put their heads up and go, like, they used to, you know, she used this phrase, and so often I then have young people coming up to me going, well, Lauren, I wanted to tell you that these are my pronouns, even if maybe they can't use them at school, or maybe they can't use them at home, and maybe they haven't quite found a safe space to do that.
And that's what pronouns implicitly do. They're a reminder that not all of us identify with the sex that we were assigned at birth. And I guess when we consider what sex assigned at birth means, it's really, really simple. It's that you were born with a certain set of bodily functions, be it a vagina, a penis, a womb, whatever, and that, you know, that's your sex, you're female or male. But gender is so much more expansive and socially constructed and falls within all of these different umbrellas of selfhood and agency that are important to honour.
Sexual identity, sex, gender, I'm just a bit...
Yeah, of course. So when we talk in this space and when I talk about diversity in this space, I think we need to be remembering that we've got lots of different ingredients in it. And the first thing you're talking about is sex, biology, the physical body, that sort of stuff. Then you've got gender expression, and the fact that they're different from necessarily from the sex and the body. We've then got who we're physically attracted to, who turns us on, you know, that kind of idea, you know, the sexual side, but then also who am I romantically attracted to? Who do I want to build connections with? And in that sort of space as well. And so, you know, it's not just one space, this space, it's the fact that there's all these different ingredients that make up our amazing diversity.
And also that these spaces are malleable too. Like there's definitely been periods in my life where I have identified as a certain way or a certain thing, and then a little while later been like, no, it doesn't fit anymore. Hey, you outgrow a pair of pants and that's okay, and it doesn't make you any less you. So acknowledging the space to, you know, change and ebb and flow in those spaces is cool. So for me, a way that I kind of express my gender through, say, a more material way is that I find at certain parts of the year I'll have a shaved head and I'll wear a tank top, and I sort of, you can really struggle if you're binary thinking in figuring out what my sexuality is, what my gender is, but at the same time, in a more intimate space, I guess the way that I perform gender is I like to straddle masculine and feminine elements.
Because when we talk about, you know, like physical attraction to people, and we talk about those sort of spaces, you know, a lot of people know all the words, or they might have heard lots of words. The idea of, you know, heterosexual, you know, homosexual, bisexual, pansexual, asexual, you know, demisexual. There's so many new labels now, and it's really fun when I get to go into spaces and talk about my sexuality and the fact that, you know, I identify as bisexual, and to me that means that I'm attracted to lots of different genders and lots of different gender expressions and lots of different bodies. But it's fun now when I speak to younger people, they will turn to me and go, Lauren, you know, love you, it's all really great, but actually you're pansexual, just so you know, according to this definition. And I love that, because I so love that you have so much more language, but it's a great opportunity when you talk about generational differences, when I get to say, I love that. When I grew up, there was straight, gay or bi, and I knew I wasn't straight, and I knew I wasn't gay, and so all I had left was a bisexual label.
I feel like I'm getting much better with my language. But I make mistakes sometimes. But for those who want to be an ally, what do you people reckon's a good way?
I think a great way to start with allyship is to consider your intentions with the person that you meet.
I think if you're wanting to think about, how can I be a good ally? Also going, am I putting all of the mental load of being a good ally on my one queer friend? For me going to my one queer friend going, can I say this? Should I be doing that? How do I do? Because yes, it can be done in a way of I want to learn, but if you're an ally, are you being an ally because you want to know the encyclopedia of queerness? Or are you doing it because you want to be an advocate and make spaces safer for queer people? Because you can do that without maybe having to mean that I have to teach you all the things. You might just be being an ally by making every space that you're in with me safer for me to be in with you.